So let's talk about product design. We hear this term thrown around all the time, right? But what does it really mean? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not just a fancy logo or some trendy colors. It's way deeper. It's the silent language of your product. It's the very core of how it works, how it communicates, and ultimately, how it wins people over.
I want you to think about a product you use every single day. Is its design just, well, window dressing? Just a pretty face meant to catch your eye? Or is there something more going on? Because if it's only about the looks, you're honestly seeing just half the picture, and you're missing out on its most powerful secret. And this slide really breaks it down perfectly. You've got two completely different mindsets. The old school view sees design as just an accessory, the final coat of paint you slap on after all the real work is supposedly done. But the modern strategic view, it sees design for what it truly is, a core function. It's not just about how it looks, it's all about how it works. And believe me, that shift in thinking is what separates the good products from the ones you can't live without.
Because let's be real, in today's crowded market, great design is not a nice-to-have, it's your front line. It's like a silent ambassador that can turn a pretty good solution into an experience that people fall in love with, an experience they can't imagine their lives without.
This brings us to a really important idea: design as a strategic differentiator. This is that perfect sweet spot where beauty and brains meet, where aesthetics and usability come together. See, when a product looks great and it's completely effortless to use, it does so much more than just function. It builds trust from the very first click, and that seamless experience is what gets rid of friction, what boosts performance, and what, at the end of the day, drives real business growth. So how in the world do you get there? Well, it's not about guesswork, not at all. It's actually a philosophy, one that's built on a really clear framework. So let's walk through the 5 guiding principles that help turn good intentions into truly great experiences. Okay, so here's the roadmap. First up, less but better. Then we've got blow minds, not budgets. Third, and this one is so important, do no harm. That's followed by a classic, function over form. And we wrap it all up with think global, act local. Now, let's dive into what each of these really means when you put them into practice.
All right, first up, less but better. This is all about having a ruthless focus. The best products out there don't try to do a million things at once. They do a few things and they do them perfectly. It means stripping away all the noise, the extra buttons, the confusing options, to create a super clear, intuitive path for the user. It's really the art of making things simpler without ever sacrificing value.
Next, blow minds, not budgets. And I love this one because it isn't about expensive, flashy features. Not at all. It's about finding that little bit of magic in the small details. Think about that subtle little swoosh sound when you send an email, or that satisfying pop animation when you like a post. Those are micro interactions, and they're tiny moments of delight that make an experience feel incredibly polished and, well, human.
Principle number 3 is do no harm. And honestly, this one's non-negotiable. This is all about responsible, ethical design. Are we building products that are accessible to everyone, including people with disabilities? Are we thinking about our environmental footprint? It's about designing for a better world, not just for a bigger market share. Okay, next, a foundational rule: function over form. It's simple, really. A beautiful design that doesn't actually solve the user's problem is just decoration. Every single element, every button, every interaction has to be justified by logic and by real user needs. If you can't answer why something is there, it probably shouldn't be.
And our final principle, think global, act local. Today's market doesn't have borders. A great product has to feel native to users whether they're in Tokyo, Berlin, or Sao Paulo. And that means designing for cultural adaptability right from the very start. Everything from multilingual support to layouts that actually work for different languages and different devices.
So we have these 5 really powerful principles, but how do you actually put them into practice? They aren't just abstract ideas you talk about in a meeting. They're embedded in a disciplined 4-step process that can take a concept from just a rough idea to a fully polished interface.
The process itself is agile and super focused. It all starts with define, where we line up the business goals with what users actually need. Then we move to prototype, where we turn those ideas into tangible wireframes you can see and touch. After that comes refine. This is a critical loop of testing and polishing every little interaction. And finally, launch. But hey, that's not the end. The best products are never really done. They're always iterating and improving.
So why go through all this trouble?
Why invest in strategic design? Well, it's because the results aren't just fuzzy concepts like beauty or feel. Nope, they are tangible, measurable outcomes that directly impact your business's success and your bottom line.
So what are the real-world results? Well, of course, you get higher user satisfaction. That's the main goal. But the business benefits are just as huge. An agile process means you get to market faster. A custom interface means your brand identity truly shines through. And maybe most importantly, by including designers from day one, you're not just decorating a product at the end, you are building a smarter, more thoughtful product from the very foundation.
And that brings us to our final and most crucial point. Thinking of product design as just another checkbox on a to-do list is a huge mistake. It's not a checkbox. It's the very engine of transformation. It's how great ideas become products that people don't just use, but products they truly, deeply love. So the real question is, are you ready to make it your core?